How's it going, everyone? The PlayStation Store is running its spring sale. Not doing the games under $5, under $10, under $20. We're going a little bit more expensive, and obviously, you know, with these games, I would be very cautious in picking any of them up. I'll make this video for the content. It's easy content, not gonna lie, but you know, I'm about being frugal. Well, not really these days because I kind of play everything because the channel relies on me playing a lot of games. But from the lens of the average consumer, I do advocate you guys to be a little bit picky with what you pick up. And, you know, with these games, if you're gonna buy them, be of the mindset, okay, I'm buying this game at a premium price point, I'm gonna play it ASAP. And just about every single one of these games that I'm going to mention in this video, I'm going to have a little bit of a pushback as to why you shouldn't buy it for that price point. They're all great games. They're all very much worth playing. But, you know, anytime we're spending over 20 bucks on a game, it's going to be a little dicey for me. But we're still going to talk about it, so let's get right into it. Cyberpunk 2077 is 40% off for $29.99. Look, this game, to the naked eye, might settle at this price point for a little while based on the fact that Cyberpunk 2077 2.0 came out last year. And sure, that did appreciate the value of this game, and it made the value of this game definitely better given that the quality got a lot better. Yeah, Cyberpunk 2077 now versus what it was, the abomination it was back in December of 2020, you know, night and day. It's a much better experience now. But $30 for a game that's 3.5 years old, very much worth $30 in my opinion. Get a lot of content. It's a great game. But there is a little bundle called the Cyberpunk Ultimate Edition that has come out. That includes both the base game of Cyberpunk 2077 and Phantom Liberty. Goes for, I'm not joking with you guys, $71 on the PlayStation Store for some unknown reason, because physically, the game is priced at $59.99. Look, if you've waited 3 years and change, can you wait another 7 months until Black Friday and the holiday season? Because I very well can see Cyberpunk 2077 Ultimate Edition being one of those sneaky great holiday sale deals where it's like 30 bucks and people are like, bruh, I'm getting 2077 and Phantom Liberty for $30. Maybe it'll be 35, but 30 or 35 for 2077 and Phantom Liberty, that sounds incredibly spicy to me. But you know, that is my speculation on a deal that you're going to see 7 months from now. Are you looking to wait 7 months? That's your prerogative. 2077 is a great game, though, and I would highly recommend it. I'm one of the crazy ones where I didn't even think it was that bad back in December of 2020. Was it a colossal disappointment? Absolutely. But I think this is a game that was very much hindered based on expectation versus reality. And yes, CDPR said a lot of things that they didn't fulfill on, so partly in fault to them, but, you know, I think the expectation versus reality factor really did hinder this game quite a bit. But there you go with that. Next up, LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga Deluxe Edition, 70% off for $21. Not a big Star Wars guy, not a big LEGO game guy, but really, you don't gotta be a big LEGO game guy to enjoy the LEGO games. They're just fun games to jump into. I thought Skywalker Saga was a lot of fun, had a good bit of content, and obviously you guys might know, trying to become a little bit more of a Star Wars nut after my love of Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor. You know, it's still a franchise I'm easing into, not a complete Star Wars crazed fiend. If Cal gets thrown into some TV series or movie, you probably will hear me talk about Star Wars ad nauseum as far as the other content, but at this point, a very, very casual fan, but I will say I enjoyed Skywalker Saga quite a bit. The Deluxe Edition has some additional content. It doesn't have all the additional content. There's a Galactic Edition, which is really the souped up edition with everything, including Character Collection 1 and 2, but yeah, still a decent pickup, and for $21, I think it's a pretty good price. Next up, we got Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, 62% off for $15.19. Your boy did do another playthrough of this prior to the release of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I honestly don't know if that's a great idea, just because you're kind of poisoning yourself to get burned out of a single game or a gameplay style, and I probably went a little bit over the top given that I played through Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core, Final Fantasy VII Reunion, and Final Fantasy VII Remake. Like, do I really need to be that big of an FF7 nerd? Like, it's okay, bro. Those games are gonna exist forever. I don't need to do the full run-through before every release. But nonetheless, circling back to FF7 Remake, this is a game that I would recommend to people that have never played Final Fantasy. Really, the Final Fantasy gateway title is Final Fantasy 16. I think if you're not into JRPGs whatsoever, that's still a game that can hook you just because of the scale and kind of like the gravitas of that game in terms of its boss fights and everything like that. I feel like it's easy to get into, but Remake is a quality game. It's kind of wild when you go back and play the original like I did and realize that Remake literally covers such a small, such a minuscule portion of the overall FF7 experience. And you kind of know that even if you aren't fully aware of the FF7 experience, but after playing Remake and circling back to FF7, it becomes more abundantly obvious that that is the case. Now, Remake does change some things. It does expand the early portion of the story, so there is that. $15.19 with episode intermission, which is the Yuffie-based DLC, which I do know a lot of people missed out on, and I would recommend you to play it. Something to check out. Definitely would give it a recommendation. Next up, we got Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, as well as Demon's Souls Remake. Let's give a mention to both of these, since I know Demon's Souls is done by Bluepoint, the remake, but it's still a From Software title. Sekiro, obviously a From Software title. Sekiro was published by Activision. From Software games generally do hold up in price, and Sekiro is a game that is 5 years old and is still $30. Doesn't hold a candle to Dark Souls 3, which is 8 years old and still at $30. So, you know, From Software games gonna be From Software prices, but what can you do? I still think it's a pretty good buy. Sekiro is different than Souls. I think if you go into Sekiro, playing it like a Souls game, you will get absolutely bodied, and I think that becomes abundantly obvious if you do try to go in it with that mindset. But I love the visuals and the aesthetics to Sekiro, and really from an aesthetics and setting standpoint, Sekiro is my number 2 behind Bloodborne as far as From Software titles go. Demon's Souls, I played it back on the PlayStation 3 when it came out, and if you ever go back and play the PS3 version of Demon's Souls, you realize, boy oh boy, that game had some archaic mechanics and is very dated at this point in time. I mean, it came out in 2009, to be expected. Bluepoint did a great job with the remake. Visually, it's absolutely stunning, and this was really the game to sell people, a lot of people, at least on the PlayStation 5. $29.39 on this, not a bad price. It is available on Plus Extra, so thought I would note that. Next up, we got Sonic Frontiers, 60% off for $24. You know, this game, like, rocketed down in price right after it was released. Like, I believe right after release, it came out in November. That Black Friday was down to $30, $35, and then kind of hasn't really moved that much since then, given that we're damn near, what, a year and a half removed from then. $24 is really one of the better prices you're going to get. I would love to see it at sub 20, but that just hasn't happened. Frontiers is a great game. Soundtrack is awesome. Visuals are great. Yes, gameplay, can it be developed upon? Can it be built upon? Absolutely, but Sega set themselves a really good foundation for what Sonic can become in the future, and we got Sonic Generations this year. I think Sonic Frontiers 2 might be happening a little bit sooner than a lot of people think. I would think that they would do a sequel given how well this game did commercially. If you have yet to play it, definitely check it out. I think this is a good price. Next up, we got Street Fighter 6. A little bit pricey for my liking, 34% off for $39.59. Look, we talked a lot about Game of the Year last year. It seemed like everybody was in agreement as far as some of the games in the mix. You know, your Spider-Man 2s, your Baldur's Gate 3s, your Resident Evil 4 remakes, so on and so forth. I thought Street Fighter 6 should have been in the mix. I'm not a big fighting game fan, but when this game came out, I was blown away at how much I enjoyed the game. First of all, how about that single-player campaign? For a fighting game, they did a great job with the single-player story. Kind of got a little bit of an RPG vibe going on for it as well. Soundtrack, presentation, just so many strong elements. $39.59 is a little bit pricey for my liking, and really at this stage of the game, if you're looking to pick up the game, it would behoove you to pick up, let's say, the Deluxe Edition or the Ultimate Edition. The Deluxe Edition, including the Year 1 Character Pass, the Ultimate Edition, getting you the Year 1 Ultimate Pass. Those are 20 and 25% off. You know, you'll get those a little bit cheaper, but yeah, the base game's $39.59. I love the game. It's pricey for a game that's 10 months old at this stage, so take that for what you will. Next up, we got Remnant 2 Standard Edition, 40% off for $29.99. The Ultimate Edition is 40% off for $42. Been playing this a little bit recently because we do have the DLC coming out here shortly. I have not played it as much as a lot of my boys that are super into this, so keep that in mind. It does have that Souls-like vibe for it. I know a lot of you guys played Remnant from the Ashes. Remnant 2 did a great job of building upon a lot of those mechanics, and it can be a fairly challenging game. The final boss in this game is kind of crazy, you know, a little bit crazy to say the least, and it's an incredibly replayable game with the different loops. The first piece of DLC, by all accounts, was pretty good. The second piece of DLC looks to be a little bit bigger, so that is pretty exciting. And it's the second of 3 DLCs that is going to be coming for the game. The Ultimate Edition is 40% off for $42, so you're paying $12 more. You get the DLC that's already out. The Forgotten Kingdom, I believe it's called, is coming out April the 23rd, and another piece of DLC will be coming out in the near future as well. So keep that in mind, whether you get the base game or the Ultimate Edition. The Deluxe Edition, which which isn't on sale, by the way. That does not include the DLC, so be mindful of that. If you want to pick it up down the line, just don't get the Deluxe Edition. That is burning money. Next up, we got Dead Cells Medley of Pain Bundle. 30% off for $28 is Dead Cells with all the DLC. You guys know how I feel about Dead Cells if you follow this channel at all. I think this is a phenomenal action roguelike. I thought this game was tremendous, and obviously it's in a genre where there are so many competitors, there's so many games of this style, but Dead Cells, I feel like the depth to the gameplay, and does a good job of seeming very simple at first and then just introducing the depth gradually, which I feel like you really want to do for a style of game like this. Dead Cells has become one of those games that I constantly go back to, and, you know, I haven't played it somewhat recently, but it's still a fantastic game, and if you've never checked it out, $28 seems pricey, given it came out initially, I want to say back in summer of 2018, but all the DLC content being included as well. Return to Castlevania, which is obviously really well received. $28, a great price, and this is one of those games that do hold up in price. And by the way, Evil Empire, Rogue Prince of Persia, so we'll see how that turns out, and interested to see how that ultimately shapes up in early access. Next up, we got Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection, 50% off for $29.99. You guys know me, like, it wouldn't be a PSN deals video on this channel if there ain't some Mega Man love. And you know what, damn it, it's never gonna end. Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection offers you Mega Man Battle Network 1 through 6, and on top of that, with Mega Man Battle Network 3 onwards, it's got the diverging path gimmick like Pokemon does, you know, with Pokemon Ruby Sapphire. Mega Man 3, Battle Network 3 had white and blue version, 4 had Red Sun, Blue Moon, 5 had Team Colonel, Team Proto Man, and then Battle Network 6 had Psybeast, Gregar, and Falzar. The games are great. The thing is, I think the issue Battle Network Legacy Collection had is a lot of people jump right into Battle Network 1 based on, you know, me talking it up and a lot of people online talking it up. Battle Network 1 is so dated at this point. Battle Network 1 set the foundation, but man, oh man, all these years later, and it's been like, damn it, 22 years, something like that, that game shows its age greatly. And these are GBA games at the end of the day. They all show their age to an extent, but Battle Network 1 has some nonsense in it. Battle Network 2 is where this franchise really starts getting going, and I feel like it gets really good. Battle Network 3 is great. 4 is very, very divisive. 5 I thought was great, and 6 I thought was great as well. So a lot of content for your money, and the games are relatively lengthy, especially if you take your time, do all the content. 30 bucks for all the titles. Again, I think that's a fantastic deal, so I would definitely recommend it. Next up, I want to give a shout, and this is definitely a high price point, the DioField Chronicle 60% off for $24. Now, this game is by no means perfect. This is a game that, if you are a big Square Enix JRPG fan, you gotta overlook its shortcomings and some of the storytelling blunders, and also, this game is just stupid easy. I talk about how I'm trash at tactics games, and my trash tactics gameplay could get me through this game no problem. Like, it is mind-numbingly easy. But with that being said, thought the soundtrack was great. I thought the gameplay design was fairly good outside of how easy it was. I thought the character design was awesome. I thought some of the story beats were great. The ending was executed, I thought, pretty well, and some of the twists and turns I thought were captivating. I thought the game had a lot of elements to like. I get why people have their criticism towards it, absolutely, and maybe I enjoyed it a little bit more, a lot more, let's say, than a lot of other people, but I think if you want a relatively easy, straightforward tactics-based game, there's absolutely some fun to be had with it. Definitely not worth $60. $24 is questionable to say the least, but the game came out a year and a half or so ago at this point. I think over that. I think like close to 20 months ago. You know, it hasn't gotten much cheaper. I think this is an okay price. If nothing else, add it to your wish list, and maybe when it's at, you know, that $10 range, I think it's something a lot of people would be surprised by how much they enjoy. So take it for what it's worth. I like the game. I absolutely understand the criticism people have towards it. Next up, we got Monster Hunter World Iceborne Master Edition Digital Deluxe. 50% off for $25. Monster Hunter World as well as Iceborne, and you do get the Deluxe kit as well. You also get a special avatar. Monster Hunter World is awesome. It's a game that Capcom did a tremendous job of keeping consistently updated, keeping it fresh, keeping the content fresh, and when they ultimately decided to be like, hey, we're gonna release a paid expansion, everybody was like, hell yeah, let me throw money in it. You gave us all this content for free, imagine what they're gonna do with a paid expansion. Develop the gameplay a little bit, expanded the gameplay. Monster Hunter World is your Monster Hunter experience. It's not gonna be for everyone, a bit of a grind, but if you're into that, you're gonna enjoy it quite a bit. Excited for Monster Hunter Wilds, hopefully that turns out well. well, but that's 2025. It's gonna be $70, you know? For now, you can check out World, you can check out the Iceborne Master Edition and still have a great time with it. Lastly, God of War Ragnarok, 43% off for $39.89. Look, 99.9999999% of you played this game, and you're probably of the same mindset that me and all my boys have. All my boys hate Atreus, but no, really, I didn't hate Atreus as much as a lot of other people, but all my boys hate Atreus. I really liked Ragnarok. I thought the game was, you know, a nice evolution of God of War 2018 while retaining the elements that made that game so great. Visually, it looks great. I mean, these cross-gen PS4 games, PS4, PS5 games, you look at this game, you look at Forbidden West, man, they're some of the best-looking games, but, you know, it's not like it's that much of a blow-away compared to 2018. Like, Forbidden West versus Horizon Zero Dawn, night and day. Ragnarok to 2018, it's more comparable. Great game, though, and if you're looking to do everything, it's got a sizable amount to do. So, $39.89, not a bad price on it, but, yeah, all my boys hate Atreus. That's going to do it for me. A lot of great deals available. Links to all of these in the description box below. Just be mindful of the fact that if you buy any of these games that are, you know, north of 20, 30, damn near $40, just be of the mindset that you're going to play these games ASAP. Because otherwise, you're going to buy them, they're going to sit in your library, and then 6 months is going to go by, and then those games that you paid $40 for are going to be $20, and so on and so forth. But that'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.